Welcome back, everyone, to the 2022 South Florida Open. We're here in Fort Lauderdale. This is a tri-fly disc golf event. We are at Markham Park, and this is the FPO Division Lead Card. I'm Sarah Hokom here with Kim Hatcher.
Ready for the back nine.
It's been pretty fun so far. We've seen a few really good birdies. I think everybody's a little bit under par or right at the par line.
Yeah, not too much movement in the front nine. So we got Morgan still in the lead by 2 strokes.
I'm there just a couple behind. Kristen Knauer, local, is at 4 down, and Ellen and Jordan at 3, and Pam Reinecke and Jessica at 2. This is hole 10, par 4, 490 feet. The first challenge is to get out of the gap, but you really want to throw a distance shot here to give yourself less distance to throw that second shot. So if you can get out as far as you can, throw that big flex, leave yourself a right to left shot coming in to approach the pin. You can challenge the palm trees, but it's way more open to come from the right side. It'll take a touchy shot a couple hundred feet to give yourself an easy putt.
Morgan on the tee box. Spikes it a little low, clips off that red tee box. Sarah, what are we throwing here?
This is a trace. It has been in my bag for a very long time. As you can see, it's super flippy.
Definitely. I was like, oh no, early.
Nope, it's gonna keep going. And Kristen, looking for that she needed that to flip up, and she throws it out of bounds on the right side.
You can definitely get that back. There's open holes in the fence. You can just walk in, go grab it.
Jess with the booming backhand.
Love that. She's going to be a little left, but still be able to get a birdie.
You think that's what, a faro?
It's a great question.
Morgan turns her sidearm over just a little bit, but it gets a full flight. She probably wasn't going to quite get to the pin, so this will be a pitch up and try to save her par.
From where she was at, it's a hard forehand approach. I would see most people going for the backhand just to follow the palm trees.
Kristen also kind of trying to battle the palm trees, but doesn't push it far enough, leaves herself wide. I'm going to attempt the backhand to get around the palms on the right side, but throw it way too wide. So it kind of skips up there. The putt is open. Just like circle 2.
This is Jess's second shot. Going wide, hyzer. Love that. Just needs to push a little bit more in and just stays wide.
So she throws a little deep, but also just the edge of circle 1. Morgan pitching up. She'll be able to get the par from there. Kristen, this is her 4th.
Ooh.
After that out of bounds stroke.
That looked great from here. So this is your birdie putt. What were your thoughts on that putt?
It was not good. No, I think I was expecting the wind to push that up. We had a headwind on this putt, and it didn't lift at all. So, whoops. Probably the nose angle.
Kristen taking her bogey. This is not an easy hole for a lefty.
No, you have to, definitely. If you're a lefty, you got to throw that sidearm coming in, or you have to throw a righty backhand. I mean, you don't have to, but percentages are so much higher.
Morgan walking away with her par.
I always appreciate the challenge, though, especially those shorter backhand shots. It's a good confidence booster if you can execute the shot.
I know you were doing a bunch of your practice rounds with Kristen. Do you like that she's a lefty, so it's kind of going to be the same-ish lines?
It was helpful. Absolutely.
Here we got hole 11, par 5, 730 feet. You want to be left. If you're too far right on this first drive, you're going to have to deal with those trees and the low ceiling, and you're going to have to follow all of this drone all the way down past the electrical box to where the basket is at.
It's kind of a short par 5, almost eagleable. Almost, yeah. So it's really just about minimizing mistakes and just giving yourself the opportunity for the birdie.
Morgan comes out of her hand just a tad bit early, but it looks like clipping a tree. She'll be in a decent position though.
We do have a headwind. I clubbed up to a photon, and it still lifted pretty hard. But in the center, fairway. That's all it takes on this.
Just looking to go backhand.
Big turnover around that tree. Comes back perfectly. What a great shot.
Kristen, here we go. We've got the lefty backhand. Over the road. Ooh, I love that. That'll come in nicely.
Yep, great distance. Morgan going back to the sidearm.
Definitely gets all of that in that throw.
Yeah, the wind turns it over just a little bit, but that's a fine position out there on that left side. You can see Kristen is just taking the left side the whole way.
Gets a little too high, and the shrubbery just knocks her down.
With that headwind, I went back to the same disc. I'm not even really trying to get distance here. It's more important that I just progress the fairway.
It's a great spot.
And I want to be right because that electrical box blocks the basket from the right side. I want to be even more right so I can see it, but it's in the way. Jess just crushing it, pushing the fence line.
That'll be in a great position. What came first, electrical box or the basket?
Kristen with a technical shot. She's got to push that road, but not turn it over.
Love the height on that. Definitely what she needed. Doesn't get the skip she quite wanted, though.
It'll be a long birdie look. Morgan on her third.
Comes out of hand very nicely.
Needs a skip. Gets a little one. Yeah, that's great. Inside circle one.
She'll definitely be happy with that throw.
The left side is blocked, so I'm going to throw this backhand. It's not that far. It's like 150 feet or something.
Ooh. That would have been cool.
That would have been. And don't mistake the other basket. I did that in practice.
I wish they would have bagged the other baskets just so it was clear. Because sometimes from far away, they do start to look the same.
Yeah, several times in practice, I was looking at the other basket before I realized that's not the one we're playing to.
Morgan with a great putt for birdie. Sarah taking your birdie as well, falling right behind.
Very gettable birdie. I mean, at 730, you really only have to throw like 200 feet at a time to get it. 250 maybe.
I like this hole. This hole, if you just play Markham Park, is actually 2 holes. It's 11 is a shorty, and then 12, this is 12's basket. And they decided to combine them to make a really long hole, which I appreciate. Give it a little challenge to mix it up.
So great hole for this card. 3 out of 4 birdies.
This hole played the easiest all day.
And Jessica just tied up Kristen at -3. On hole 12, this is a par 3, 233 feet right through this gap. It is straight up throw down the gap and let it fade to the right. Hopefully you're going to throw a sidearm because that's going to be the easy way to get right. If you're going to throw the backhand, just keep the ceiling, make sure the ceiling isn't too high, and get your shot up there. And then you have this crazy green. The backside has roll-away opportunities. It's pretty elevated, definitely intimidating if you're looking at putting from outside the circle.
Little high out of her hand for Morgan. She'll be down there.
Wow, that fought. That hit pretty early, and then I think she's at circle 2 from there.
What are we throwing here?
This is a pyro. A little bit more left
Oh, that would have been a great kick.
T-pad sucks.
Yes, it does. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. It is, in fact, 3 feet by 4 feet.
It is a weird T-pad. I'm trying to blame the T-pad for my poor shot, but I don't think it was the T-pad's fault. Jess also leaves hers a little bit left.
I almost wish there was no T-pad.
Right? I would play from dirt over that
I'd
for
rather
sure.
play from
That's
dirt
a really good
than
point.
to change mid-step.
It's a little course feedback for the locals.
Kristen, with a little flick approach, comes up a little short.
That'll leave her a putt. Not a fun basket to putt on. I'm trying to decide whether I should try to make this or not. And I decided to go for it.
Ooh, I love that run.
But it looks like I laid it up.
It's a baby run. We call that a baby run. Maybe
It's-
the wind would have came out and just kicked it up.
Right. It's a little bit elevated, so it does play much longer than it looks.
Kristen, the good run. Just
Thankfully,
not
we
enough
both
height.
sat there, though.
Morgan's going for this all the way.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if she's played enough to know when to lay up yet. Right? I mean, a couple years in the game. I remember those days. You just run everything.
Sometimes it's just a matter of, well, got nothing to lose at this point. We just got to keep going. Put the gas pedal on.
She's leading, though. She does have something to lose.
I like this basket, though. I feel like even if you miss, you're not going to be terribly long past.
Okay. Well, look at us. We're just right there. And Jess didn't make it, but also only at the bottom of this knoll, so it's still a short putt.
We are all taking our pars for a nice party, as you said.
Well, we'll see. I think it took Kristen an extra stroke.
I think it did take Kristen.
So she gives away that one stroke that she had just got on Jess, putting her at -2. And Morgan and I are still 2 apart. Not a lot of movement. We're both, one bogey or 1 par on the back.
And we're back. Hole 13, par 4, 380 feet. We've got water on the left. That's going to be your OB for this hole. Kind of a short par 4, only 380 feet. And the reason for that, as we get closer, that basket is high upon this hill and pretty well guarded.
Yeah, those trees are sitting at the circle's edge. So as you're traversing the second half of the hole, it's very easy to hit those trees and kick you back down. And it is very elevated, like 10 feet, you think?
Very. Morgan comes out of her hand just a tad too early.
But she's in the short grass. Doesn't get into the rough, so that's much better than the water. This is a crave.
Comes in beautifully.
Yeah, I was really happy with that one. It's good to get into that gap. It gives you a better chance of getting to the pin. Jess also throws the turnover, but catches the outside edge.
She'll be in a great position.
Kristen with the hyzer.
Love that.
Does not want it to go too far right. Looks like a pretty stable disc, so
a
she's
good sit.
controlling that approach shot.
That water's kind of scary. And on that hole, we had that 4-card pile up, so all you were thinking about was, look at that water. Look at the water. Oh, the water's right there.
As you watch all the cards in front of you throw into the water.
Yes.
You're like, don't throw into the water. Yeah, at this point in the round, we have had a couple of waits, and we just waited for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something. We were 5 cards going through this hole before we were able to throw it. Just getting through, but leaving it a little left.
And just slides down
That's
that
a
side.
tough putt, even though it's probably inside the circle.
It's a fast green. Those discs can just kick up and roll so fast.
I'm trying to throw this to the right of the pin because it seems like that's the easy spot to putt from.
Looks like your Kurt's right there.
And it's higher than it looked. I thought I was going to throw it past the basket and it just caught the hill. But it's close. I'm happy about that. Kristen threw a great shot from her position and is now putting for birdie. She doesn't want any of it. She decides to lay up. She's like,
That looked like she wasn't intending to. The way
I think that was...
her eyes were.
Yeah.
Looked like she was aiming high and then just was like, oh, we're just going to
never mind. No, I think
put this right here.
I think that was very intentional. Because if you hit that front cage, it's
There's
not
no
stopping. It's just going to go all the way back down to like where Jess is.
Beautiful birdie putt.
Sneaks are in there.
From the backside, too. You gotta climb up there.
Right? It is very elevated. Kristen to clean up the par. Smart, veteran play.
Got Morgan here. That is a 5-footer, but a scary 5-footer.
Right? Just air on the other side of the basket.
Like, what a beautiful view. Don't want to put my disc there. Great birdie.
Nice. Yeah, so Jess and I with the birdies, that puts me within 1 stroke of Morgan. And Jess is now 2 ahead of Kristen. She's starting to pick it up. 2 birdies on this back 9. On to hole 14, this is a par 3. Just 285 feet, but it is a tight tunnel. There is water on the left, all the way up the fairway, and as you get closer to the basket, the water gets way closer, even to the point where you only have a few feet behind the pin to putt at. So, throw your straightest shot, maybe a mid, maybe a flippy fairway, and hopefully you're not putting directly at the water behind the basket.
I've seen a lot of people play the ground on this hole, intentionally throw the disc a little lower and hopefully have it slide.
With the pine straw, that's probably a great option. Might just turn over a little bit, but I'm at circle 2.
That's a good place to be. It's a good putt. You feel like I can give it a soft run.
Definitely.
Just going backhand here. Looks like with a mid.
So I thought it was a mid, but now I'm thinking it's actually like a super flippy Firebird. Because she threw her flippiest one there. It's like Blurple.
Let's run it back.
She's had this thing in her bag forever, but I feel like they don't quite flip up like that.
I'm just thinking of the distance. She looked like she threw it with some speed.
Yeah, and 285, she could throw a Firebird that far.
Easily.
Morgan. Zeus?
Yep.
Leaves it out right, but that's a good place to leave. That's a good miss. It's you're still putting. Maybe not as aggressively as you want to with that water.
Kristen with a super flippy disc just catches that left side. That left side is not a place you want to be. Definitely heavily guarded over there.
She's looking to chip this. It needs to move left quite a bit. And it kind of just skips straight. So that's a long putt to save the par.
Sarah for birdie. You got a good window.
It was a good window. Looking to visualize a little bit of flexy putt here. I keep thinking one of these is going to drop. Morgan, though, much closer than I. But looking directly at the water.
Directly. Ooh.
Does she run it? Yes. Ooh, she's safe.
Everyone holds their breath.
Right?
Kristen, same putt. A little shorter, though, than Morgan.
This is par save. Oh. Morgan walk away with the par. We still haven't gotten to Jess's.
No, we have not.
She's just chilling, just waiting.
Grabbing a snack. She's doing great.
And Jess gets the drop in. Great shot.
That's the best feeling.
So Jess really doing like 3 down in the back 9. She's dialed. And Morgan and I are still 1 stroke apart. And who knows what's happening on the second card.
Here we got a hole 15. This is also a par 4, 387 feet. Most people are gonna try to attack this gap over the water. Following this flight, you wanna land here. If not, maybe a little shorter, you're gonna be okay. And then getting through this next gap. So kinda, I would say 3 gaps you gotta hit to be able to get to this basket, which is right on the hill. Rollaways on the back side, on the front side. Definitely a tricky green.
Jess up first.
I love the forehand play.
It goes a little long, but sneaks through. So front side is a great place to be.
Ooh, I love the stamp on that, Diz. What was that?
It is a die. It's a puppy with a bone in its mouth. I call it my shock puppy because it's a shock.
Squeezing in bounds behind some trees, but I think you'll be able to kind of poke out and see it.
Morgan going with the hyzer. I like this play. Usually if you hit early, you're not going to go in the water. It'll just drop. And then if you're on that right side, it's more open than being in the water.
Kristen gets this disc up high. I love that.
Don't love that.
Don't love it. Looks so nice out of her hand.
I think she was going to hit the gap perfectly if that limb, if she had just thrown it just a little bit lower. So now she is going from the drop zone.
It is not an easy throw from the red pad.
Mm-mm.
Morgan, this is where her drive landed her. I was there as well. It is not an easy shot to get to the basket.
Tries to get around the corner, but hits and drops. So now she'll have, 80 to 100 feet to the pin.
I would say, yeah.
This is about, 130, 150 to the pin.
That's not it.
So I hit that palm, but I'm not too far. It just dropped. Voice command.
Voice command disc.
I told it to stop. And
Gotcha.
It hit it, yeah.
Jess with a little flick approach, and it gets through.
That's a great spot. She's only a few feet away with a relatively open putt. Morgan saws it off and ends up right. She will have a tough putt from there. Kristen, I'm assuming she's laying this up.
Yeah. This is tough.
Yeah, I don't want to putt on this basket ever, really. I want to just put it right next to it and then just get out of there. Like that. Right next to it, just get out of there.
Don't make it too complicated.
Right.
Just get out of there.
But instead, I'm putting at what looks like an invisible basket on my screen. And you know what? It felt kind of invisible. I don't know, just a lack of focus here. So then I'm back here. This saved my par. So, bummer, but oh, that's worse. Thank goodness it didn't roll any farther than that.
That started kicking up.
Yeah, so that's an unfortunate bogey, or hopeful bogey here, for Kristen, and also for me as I tap this in and hope it doesn't do me wrong.
Yes, tell them how you really feel.
I mean, yeah. I wasn't very happy with that spit. It was bad enough that I missed that putt chain out, and then to make the next one and it spit was kind of gross. But Jess here
for her birdie
is now going to rack up a 4th birdie in 6 holes.
It's definitely a tricky hole.
She is coming with the fire. So she's only 4 off lead. She wasn't even in the conversation, and now all of a sudden she goes 4 strokes
now
on
we're
the
in
field.
The conversation.
So 4 strokes off the lead, 3 strokes off of me. We are on hole 16. This is a par 3, 258 feet. Probably plays more like 280. Little bit uphill, especially with this knoll as you get close to the basket. But there's a lot of trees overhanging the airspace. So even though it looks relatively open, the only open space is really below the tree line, or it's a tiny little gap at the height that will get you to the pin. So do you want to get the birdie and throw it a little high, or do you want to throw it low and make sure you get the par?
And that grass is grippy, so not a ton of skips are going to be happening.
Jess goes low. And
little
deep.
long. She'll be in a good spot though. I like that.
Yeah, putting for sure. This is the shock puppy again. And I go high. And
Looks like you'll be on the edge.
It fights. It's not the edge, but it's almost pin high.
Morgan also going sidearm.
She's going high as well. It does hit, but fights through. So she'll have a putt to try to get that birdie.
Kristen, good lefty hole for her. Gets the height.
That's nice.
Just a tad bit short.
Yep. It's edge of the circle. Very makeable. Morgan taking no time. That looked like it was going
That
in.
looked so good. I think she thought it was in too.
Yeah, she's a very fast player. Doesn't take a lot of time to line up her shots.
Sometimes if you take too long to line up your shot, you're gonna overthink it. So I understand her in that sense. Like, just put the disc in the basket.
Sure, everybody's got a different strategy. Oh, Jess with the sidearm step out. Love it. She has.
I don't know if the CTP should go to me or not.
She has such a good touch with that. I was kind of asking her if she thought who she thought the CTP would belong to. I wasn't sure. It's hard to see from all the way in where my light was. I'm like going up and over a branch, hoping to push putt it in there, but all good. No harm, no foul. Pars are good. We're all gonna get pars, even though it feels like it should be a birdie hole at 260.
No one birdied this hole all day.
Man, we suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, when you get through 15, you're just like, I just want to get through it.
You know what? The day did drag on. We had 4 or 5 waits, especially that long one on 13, and it did feel like a real big challenge. So no movement there. Just still 4 off the lead.
Still pulling away.
Yep. Me and Morgan still battling with her advantage.
We got hole 17 here. It's a par 3, 290 feet. You're gonna want to follow these trees all the way to the baskets on the right. It's gonna follow the curve of the road. Road is going to be OB on the left, and it does come up quickly as you get closer to the basket. This is a good hole. I like this hole.
Yeah, it seems pretty straightforward.
Plays to a good righty backhand, righty forehand, lefty. Definitely a good.
So everybody should get this birdie.
Everybody should get this all day.
All right. Well, Jess is our first one up.
Sidearm. Oh, I love the angle on that.
It flips up a little bit, gets a little skip, and 15-footer. I'm going to throw a trace, the cosmic traces, which are a little more stable than a regular neutron. Looking for that big hook up at the end.
Inside circle one?
Yeah, I turned it over a little bit, but we're putting. Morgan throws it a little low. It needs to sit. Okay, gets his cut roll. Kind of out of range for a birdie, but maybe we'll see her put one in from long.
Kristen getting the disc a little too high. She's going to drop down, but she'll be close enough. Maybe she can give us a good jump putt.
We got options. Sun is starting to go down. We are all hoping for a little extra energy.
I think this round was 4 hours from start to finish. Or no, just a good layup.
Yeah, and just and also those 4 hours, it's normally that course you play in 2.5.
Yes.
Kristen, just an easy pitch up. We're just trying to get away from here with our pars. I'm hoping for a birdie, however, because Jess is gaining on me, and the basket.
Those baskets are brutal
Does not like me.
sometimes. That inner wall sometimes it just doesn't want a disc near
All right,
it.
Jess, let's go. Get the birdie. There she goes, getting another one. That's 5 birdies out of 8 holes. That's pretty amazing. Feels really good to have a 9 that's so strong.
Does that mean I should just bring it in?
In the meantime, I'm getting 2 spit outs in 3
Just give it a
holes.
little tap.
I never get spit outs. It's crazy. I can't believe it actually when that happened twice then. Prodigy. don't know what's going on with those baskets, but I'm sure it was my fault. Not the basket's fault.
Nah.
So Jess going 3 off the lead, 2 off of me. She is on fire. 1 more hole to get that birdie. It's hole 18. This is a par 4. 537 feet, your first shot. You're looking to get out into this open space with as much distance as you can to make that second shot easy, but don't go OB on the left side because that's not good. Next, you approach your next shot 250 feet or so, 270 maybe, up onto this little knoll. It's got a little bit of challenge because it just rises right at the end, so it's a little farther than you think it is. And it's probably gonna make you putt because it's harder to throw them uphill a little bit. So Jess up first.
Giving us a sidearm off the tee. That's a great play. If you could play right off the road, you'll be in a great spot. These
last 3 holes have all kind of played to a sidearm with the road on the left. This is a trace, cosmic trace once again.
Gets a little on top of that. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Reliable save there. Reliable fade.
I think I was across the street when I saw that. And we all were lifting. Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Morgan, she'll be in a good position.
Yep, I like that. Nice and safe. Doesn't ever challenge the road. And Kristen, we know what she's going to do. Hyzer lefty over the road. Pops it up a little bit. That looks good, though. Big skip. CTP. There's not one on this hole, but we can pretend. Jess looking to put this close to close out her round.
Just comes out of the hand.
Yep, that was a miss, but it's not really going to cost her too much as long as she can get up and down. That's still a par.
Yeah.
She's already had a great 9.
Morgan with the Zeus. That's her go-to. Oh, did you hear that sound?
Puts it out on a flex and parks it. That's the putt you want to finish around like that.
Mm-hmm. That came out of her hand great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Her mom giving her some encouragement, walking with her the whole time.
She was the favorite twin of the day, I heard. That's why her mom picked her to walk around with.
I don't throw a very good shot, but leave myself a putt here. And Kristen looking to put it close.
It's about 200 feet from here, you would say?
Yeah, maybe a little farther.
Kristen takes it a little wide.
So she's got a little bit of a putt there, 25 feet.
This is also a tough hole because there's a lot of people moving around.
There is so much distractions happening. You're so right. Jess pumps it a little far, so she'll have a little work for her par.
What are we listening to? I see your headphones are in.
We are listening probably to some Grizz or some Big Wild. So very makeable, 28 feet or so.
That's an exact number.
And terrible attempt. Wah, wah.
Like I said, those cars and the people moving.
I was out of juice at that point. But that's it. So we both did the exact same, okay, just not finishing our putts. But we just inadvertently laid up for par.
Just a little short.
Ending on a bogey. That is not what she wanted to do. But she still had a great round. Great back 9 at least.
Great back 9.
And Morgan tapping out the solo birdie on our card to bring her to 11 down. 2 strokes over me. I'm wondering what the second card did here. I mean, Jess brought herself back into the mix. Kristen probably dropped off the lead card. Back to even. But Morgan, wow. Just solid golf.
Definitely solid golf right there. And we got the leaderboard here. Morgan Lynds still going to be in first place going into round 3 tomorrow at Snyder. We're heading back there.
I'm 2 off the lead, and Jess is only 3 off of me. And then look at this.
Jordan made her way to the lead card.
I don't know how I'm gonna know the difference between them. Like,
One throws
I hope
forehands,
they
one
wear.
throws backhands.
Really? Okay,
That's
they
it.
better wear different clothing. No? Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. Go give a like and subscribe to Ace Run Pro, and we will see you for the 3rd round. And also, if you're feeling crazy, go ahead and go to sarahhokom.com and check it out.
Or follow me at kim.beldegrate on Instagram.